this holiday was weird for me. Okay. And I'll tell you why it was weird.
Okay, tell me why it's weird.
Because I did nothing.
Isn't that good?
And that was the weirdest thing I've experienced all year, I think.
That's how you know we're fucking overworked ourselves. Like it's just like, oh, what? I'm sitting here and it's like, what do I do with my hands?
it was so weird, right? Because we're coming back from Christmas and New Year's. I remember it was like the 27th or something, or 28th of like December.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, God, we've not filmed Trash Taste for I feel like 3 weeks. It was 7 days. And I was just like, holy shit, I feel like I've been off work for a month now. What the hell, man?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, like, I, for one, experienced probably the worst Christmas and New Year's of my goddamn life.
Right. Ooh, okay.
Because I mentioned it very briefly, but I had gastroenteritis or stomach flu. And it was probably...
Why are you using like the cursive version of that?
What do you mean?
It's just stomach flu. Why are you using the cursive? What's the... You trying to make it sound like more serious?
Yeah. Because gastroenteritis sounds way cooler.
I was going to say, because you did an Instagram post, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I Googled it, and I was like, what is fucking, did you say stomach flu?
Well, because I didn't know, because I've always known it as that term. I never knew it was called stomach flu.
Yeah.
So people were like...
Parents teaching you
people were like, do you mean stomach flu? I'm like, oh, that makes more sense.
This is literally just the Winnie the Pooh meme with the
stomach flu, gastroenteritis. Yeah, so I had the stomach flu, which for those of you who don't know is like kind of like a worse version of food poisoning. That's the only way to describe
an illness,
it.
Then.
Right.
An actual, unlike food poisoning, an actual illness. But yeah,
how do you get it?
So, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can get it. For one, like the most common way is kind of like food poisoning, where you you just eat something bad or you drink something that was kind of off or anything like that.
Food poisoning with hands?
It's like food,
extra layer? Yeah,
it's like food poisoning, except if it was like built like Mayweather, you know? It's like, it's like this thing like punches the crap out of you.
You can die from food poisoning, right? Can you die from stomach flu, or is it kind of different? Just more of a...
I don't think you can die from stomach flu, but you can develop other illnesses. So like a lot of people who have like stomach ulcers, for example, and stuff like that, get it as a result of like really bad stomach flu.
Yeah.
So basically I got that and I was basically bedridden for about 8 days. And I've had stomach flu before. Like I've gotten it in like Australia and like the US and stuff like that, but never in Japan. Yeah. And like normally, even like in the worst, like kind of like food poisoning, right? The worst is like maybe a couple of days and then you get it out of your system and you're good. But like this boy wanted to hang around for the holidays. He was just like, you're alone at home, Aki's overseas. I'll be your company this holiday season.
So you're literally just home alone, just dying?
I was just dying. Like Christmas Eve, for example, was probably like the peak, and it just felt like I was just getting stabbed in the stomach, and I was going to the toilet every like 5 minutes, just like vomiting and just like pissing through my ass, and it was absolutely horrible. And so it got really bad around day 5, and
it's around doom.
Day 5. It got really bad in day 5, so bad to the point where I was like, I don't know if this is like a stomach flu anymore. I feel like this is something worse. So I went to the hospital. Imagine fucking Christmas Eve. I'm at the fucking hospital because my stomach is dying.
This is where like an old man would approach you in the street and give you something to make you believe that Christmas is real on your way to the hospital.
Free trip to the hospital.
Be like, oh, I've given you a rice cake. Christmas cheer does exist. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Except instead of an old man, it was an old man in a doctor's outfit telling me that I just had a really bad case of the stomach flu. He gave me some medicine to be like, you'll probably be fine in a couple of days. And then I finally got better around the 1st or the 2nd of January.
So how do you get stomach flu? Is it from eating something dodgy?
Yeah.
What do you think did it in for you?
Okay, so there's a couple of so obviously I had a lot of time to look this up.
ain't doing anything else.
Yeah, I'm just lying in bed for 8 days. I'm like, well, I guess I'll learn something new in the medicine field today. So I looked it up. Like the most common way is like, again, kind of like food poisoning, where it's like you either eat something that was maybe like a little undercooked or a little bit, rotten, or, you drink something where your stomach just like doesn't take it and stuff like that. Another way you can get it is it's called a stomach flu because it's actually like, you can get it from someone else.
Oh,
So if
okay.
someone with like a stomach flu, say coughs, for example,
Yeah.
and you're in the vicinity, there is a chance you can catch it that way as well.
Oh, Jesus.
So I think though what happened was that like, I know exactly the day it happened because 2 days before, I went out drinking with a couple of my friends. Manu, as you guys know, O'Hara, good friend of ours, Maki, Maylene's husband, and then my other Japanese friend. We went out drinking, and I know it was that day because when I told the boys, I was like, yo, I got the stomach flu, and it might have been on this day. All three of them are like, yeah, we're kind of sick as well.
Oh, God.
So it was definitely that day. It was either something we ate or something we drank, but it's weird because we didn't eat anything raw that day.
Maybe you just think that wasn't
So
like, stored
Yeah.
it
properly.
must have been something that was like maybe undercooked or wasn't stored properly. And
It does happen a lot more in Japan than you think. As I am a testament to this,
See,
it does happen a lot more than you think.
But what's so weird is that like I've never had any kind of like food poisoning or anything like that in Japan, let alone something that bad. Like again, it's like I've had it before, but it lasted maybe like a day or two at most.
Yeah.
But this guy was just clinging on to dear life, and he was just like, I'm gonna make your holidays absolutely miserable this year. So I definitely I got a PB of the worst Christmas. That's for
man.
sure. I thought it was bad enough that I was shoveling shit in the snow one New Year's Eve in a blizzard. No, that's nothing compared to this. This was definitely by far the worst. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but man, it was horrible. At least, like, my saving grace was that it didn't happen during a week where I had work
A lot of stuff to do, yeah.
Like, we didn't have any,
Isn't that sad that
which
you're
is
like...
so sad, isn't it?
Didn't you say that the symptoms started to come on the 23rd?
Yeah, literally
Which is-
the day after the last Trash Taste recording. So luckily, like the only thing I had planned was that, because it was the last week of December, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, we've got no Trash Taste. I have no filming, scheduled or anything
could
like
just
that.
die.
Yeah. So
Die
I
in
filled up
peace.
that entire week with like, seeing friends or like, I was supposed to go up to Sendai to like see my grandma over the New Year's. I had to cancel all of that and just wither away alone in bed on during the last week of 2022. So my year ended great. So I hope you guys and everyone watching had a better holiday than I did.
But how polite of the illness to wait for the day after you
kind.
film his
Yeah,
trash
yeah.
taste.
That's kind.
He was like, you know what?
Let him
The
cook.
boys need it. The boys need it. Okay, let him go for that.
Yeah,
and then I'll come in full force.
I remember like I was telling this to Gant earlier today, and in my head I was just like, man, that is the most Japanese salaryman thing I've ever said in my life. It's like, well, at least I didn't miss out on work, because everyone knows that's the most important, baby.
I feel like
Fuck my holidays.
I willed my body into not being sick, like twice, like recently.
Oh, really?
I felt like I was going to be sick, and I was like, no.
Really? Well, how so?
Do you know when you wake up with the throat, it's a little bit like, oh no. Oh
Like
no.
scratchy?
might
Bro,
happen.
I actually had the same
and
thing this holiday.
And I feel like I fucking willed it. I was like, don't
Yeah.
fucking dare do this. Fuck. I just got back from my holiday. I was like, I need to work. I want to
Yeah.
work. I want to
Right.
do stuff. And I was like, but I remember I was just like, no, I'm not even giving this attention. I'm not gonna pretend like this isn't happening.
Yeah.
And then literally next day I was fine. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, sick. The day after I was like, oh God, it's coming back. And I'm like, no.
It's like it comes back when you least expect it. It's like you forgot about me. I'm
like,
still here, baby.
I'll take a little throat thing. I'll chill out. I'll drink a ton of water. I'm going to ignore this. I'm just going to power
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
it. I'm fine.
Oh, actually, yeah.
I don't know if this is and as I said, I don't know this. This is 100% bullshit that I've just made up in my head
It
to
is.
tell myself that I'm strong enough to fuck this thing over.
See,
And I
but
think
it's
I
weird,
did.
right? Because like I remember there's like, and again, I don't know how true these are, but like I've heard, on and
Placebo
off
and all
about
that
like,
stuff.
yeah, that whole
Placebo.
thing of like, if you think hard enough that like,
Oh, that's all
the
bullshit.
disease goes away, then it actually goes away. It's like,
Hold up. The disease goes away.
Cancer patients could never.
You know that meme of that graph where it's like depression 0. It's like cancer 0.
Yeah.
People realize they could think it away.
just stop thinking that you have cancer and you probably won't have cancer.
oh my
Skill
God.
issue, innit? It's just it's a fucking skill
This is
issue,
gonna
mate.
be
It's just-
this is gonna be like
Mind over matter,
It's gonna be example 1 of why we get cancelled by a medical association. It's like, we're not saying this. We know it's dumb as
We
fuck.
know
This
it's
is
dumb
purely
as
just
fuck.
a thing in your
But
head.
it's
that
just,
you're like,
it's just a feeling because I had exactly the same thing happen to me this holiday where like early on, like Joey, I woke up and I just had like this sore throat that just would not go away.
Right.
I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And then I go upstairs and Sydney comes down and she's like, "Oh, I think I got a sore throat." I'm
no.
like, Fuck, don't say that, because if you have something,
Red
that just
flags.
means I'm not just like imagining this pain in
Yeah.
my throat right now.
Right.
So we're just like, I told Sydney, no, we're not gonna let this ruin our fucking holiday. All right. It's like
It's not real. It can't
it's
hurt
not
us.
real.
You literally just pulled out. No, you don't.
It's Christmas Eve. It's
Gaslight her
Christmas
into
Eve.
thinking she doesn't have it, so she believes that she doesn't have it and improves quicker.
I guess I don't
It's
have it
placebo.
then.
That's literally what happened. It was fucking Christmas Eve, right? And
Yeah.
we're like, we're gonna open a bottle of wine. We're gonna watch some fucking horror movies, and we're gonna drink the pain away, right?
It's all right. The alcohol will kill the disease. You know,
This is the worst medical advice in history. We are not medical experts. Do not
No.
listen to any of this.
No, yes.
This is like the same level of logic as like, you know, when you're one step away from getting hypothermia. You're like,
okay.
just take a shot of the whiskey.
Just
You'll be
take a
fine.
shot.
I
Okay.
don't know if and this is probably bullshit, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there is something in my head, right? When I resign, especially if it's for common colds and stuff like this, when I resign, that in my head that I'm like, I'm sick,
Yeah.
that's when I become more sick.
Yeah.
In my head, when I
right.
tell myself I'm not sick, this is a joke, and I just keep powering on, I feel like I get less sick. I don't know if this is complete bullshit. I feel like it is. I don't know why this happens. Scientists explain why I feel this
No,
way.
okay.
Well, okay.
No, okay. I totally get that though, because I mean, with the stomach flu that I had, when I was starting to like actually, you know, physically feel that, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, here it comes. In my head, I was like, no, I don't want this. I
all
don't
good
want
until
to be
you
sick.
start
It's
shitting your
fine.
pants.
It's fine. Like
Yeah.
I started to get like stomach cramps, and I started to get like a bit of a fever, and I was like, no, it's fine. It's probably just like built up stress or something. No, not right now. But then the stomach flu was like, what's your source? It's like, oh really? You don't have an illness, do you? May I see your receipts, please?
Damn, stomach flu got hands, man. All right, it got me beat this time, man.
It's like I'm about to cancel your entire
Yeah.
holidays.
Well, do you think? Okay, do you think the body is capable of doing things that science can't really explain sometimes? Because we hear some kind of these like stories every now and then of
Yeah.
like people who can do incredible feats.
This just
that-
feels like one of those alpha male conversations. These guys in the jungle in Malaysia, they actually found a fruit that allows you to grow your dick
How do you
15
become
times.
so alpha that you can control your body to the fullest? How do you unlock 100% of your
I
cells?
think there's like this is like a law of attraction where if you get three dudes on a podcast, eventually they'll talk about the human body and how you can surpass its
course.
limits. I feel like this is just
It's the rule of Joe Rogan, man.
This is just a natural phenomenon that happens, and it is so fucking dumb because we're all fucking stupid.
Can we coin this as the Joe Rogan
No,
effect?
I don't give him credit. I fucking.
So I said it.
I noticed the phenomenon. Let's call it the
Connor Cahoon effect.
No, it should be something better. Like, because I like the speedrun names because they come up with dumb shit like the skips. They're like the Cheeto skip or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
the Cheeto skip.
That's my favorite thing with like the speedrunning like things. It's like when speedrunners come up with like names of tricks. There's one or two ways that you can name a trick. The one way is like to be like you name it after what you do in it. So it's like this one is called the boulder skip because you use a boulder to skip it. And then the other way is like this one is called the Jim sandwich because Jim was eating a sandwich when he discovered it. It's like there's only two ways you can name speedrunning.